I'm here today with Scott, one of our clients who've been working with for, I think about 4 months now, I think it's been. Is that right, Scott?
Yeah, that is. Yep, yep.
Yeah, awesome. So Scott came on board from what I really liked is he had a traditional finance background and he could see the big opportunity. He'd done a bit of work in cryptocurrency in the past, wasn't really getting the results and outcomes of what he desired. And he decided to come on board and work with us and to get the education, knowledge, and insight that he really wanted to speed up his growth and get the results and outcomes in a safer way, but in a shorter time frame. So, a question for yourself, Scott: where would you say you were really at before you came on board and worked with CCI?
Yeah, so I think as we've talked about in the past, I sort of, well, my initial introduction to crypto was through a mate who'd been talking to me about it for a few months, and I just sort of passed it off pretty quickly and wasn't really interested. And then one night I bought a few coins after a couple of red wines, and
Yeah,
and,
yeah, I do.
and didn't think much of it at the time. Just threw a bit of money at it, and but then after sort of the returns started to increase, I thought, fuck, I need to actually do something about this. So um, and that's sort of how I got involved. And as you said, coming from a finance sort of background and a planning sort of background, it's in my nature to actually plan stuff rather than actually have a punt with stuff, which is where I was at, which is I was probably more of a punter than and just throwing darts and actually having a plan. So that's how I got into or started to get into things.
Yeah, awesome. And it's like most people probably watching this, they would have heard it through a friend and they said, buy this or do that. And it's very dangerous to be listening to inexperienced people that can kind of suck you in and mislead you. So it's good that you had a path and you knew that you wanted to get some real guidance from it, which is awesome. So, what would you say, Scott's maybe been some of your biggest takeaways for you from working with myself and the team at CCI?
Yeah, so some of the biggest takeaways, or to even go back to the start, it's probably it would have been easy to go looking for answers by myself and exploring through YouTube and the internet. But
Yeah, yeah,
just when I first started the course, and to get through the course, we had all the information I needed to get me started. There's no, you know, no bullshit there. It's just all simple to understand, and gave me a great understanding in the crypto industry to start with. So, to simplify, I've always talked about wanting things simple, which is what you guys do. And it's easy enough to go down so many different rabbit holes with crypto, and it can be fun to do that, but it's not what I needed from the outset. So simplifying things has been really important. And I've talked about being time poor, or well, everyone's got the same amount of hours in a week, but
yeah.
I'm wanting to allocate time to my family, and in particular, and freeing up time to do that. So giving me a plan, simplifying things, and making sure I'm not spending too much time on or wasting time on going down too many rabbit holes. That's probably some of the biggest takeaways for me.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. Thanks for sharing that because, yeah, like you said, you can spend endless hours. And I've worked with people who have been in the space for years, and they spend so much time going through YouTube and reading blogs and Googling all of this stuff to try and get answers and outcomes, but they never get where they want because they don't have a framework to systematically work through. That then you can go out and actively search for specifically what you're looking for rather than just have all this inbound information coming in, and it overwhelms you, but it also wastes a lot of time. I put my hand up the first 2 years in crypto, from 2014 to 2016. I didn't waste 2 years because I learned a lot, but I spent a lot of time spinning around in circles. And I wish I had met me back then because I'm sure my bank balance would probably be even bigger than it already is now. So, no, it's awesome. Fantastic. Appreciate the takeaways. And what would you say, Scott, to maybe someone else who's potentially thinking of coming on board and working with CCI, what would be, I guess, your words of wisdom or insight to them, given that you were sitting on the other side of the fence 4 months ago and now you've worked with us and you've got all of this experience and knowledge? What would you say? What would your guidance be?
Yeah, I think if you want to keep, a solution to, or a turnkey solution to be able to get straight in there without and cutting through the bullshit and wanting confidence in someone or a team that's been involved in the industry for so long, just do the course. It's a no-brainer. And it's not just about crypto as well that you'll develop as a person, particularly from a mindset perspective. It's easy enough just to talk about investments, but it's also what you've taught is confidence around mindset to be able to make the decisions as well. So just don't even hesitate if you're just getting started, and even if you've been in it for a little while and you've dabbled, do the course anyway.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate that, because it's always like I never want to tell someone, oh, the course is great and it's all this. I'd rather just find people like yourself who have actually done the course and been on both sides, and you can share your experience. So I really appreciate that. And absolutely, like the mindset's so essential, as you've realized. It's about being able to take action, and when you do take action, it comes from the right place rather than all this uncertainty and fear and everything that's driving most people. So yeah, really appreciate your feedback, mate. It's been an absolute honor working with you, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to jump on this, because I know that this will be super useful for people coming in and thinking of working with us. So thank you, mate. Really appreciate that.
No, not a problem. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, Scotty.